Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful weekend and ready to go this week. So this is a jam-packed hour we got going on today. So appreciate you being on, and we'll go ahead and get started since we have more information than time probably. So here we go. First is we have a new agreement meeting video up, and the reason being is we have completely, after 15 years of using or having the old agreement meeting up where it was an hour long and we had everything scripted, we're down to now making it very, very simple and easy, because the hour-long agreement meeting, as you all heard at training, just was, it's wonderful, it's cool, I mean, the psychology that's packed into it is awesome, but it's really hard to learn, and it doesn't make you any money. So it makes your life a little bit easier, a little bit more time efficient, but that's not worth all the time and effort to go through it. So though I love that script, we are parking it into the library to retire. So if you go on there now, you'll see, as you can see here, a normal agreement meeting will last 20 minutes. All you're going to do is make sure they can't ask questions, and then get right into collecting data and getting them to move on to the next meeting. We also cover if they don't bring in statements. We also cover if they only provide a spreadsheet of assets, how you get their statements. We also talk about if a prospect wants to talk about their investments in the meeting, how to avoid doing that. And we also talk about if the prospect is not happy with their current advisor and how to deal with that. So that's all up in the video now. So the next thing here, the other thing is, we haven't talked about this for a while. I just want to remind you that there is a website up called the www.21pointchecklist.com where it tells why the 21-point checklist makes sense. And it has a little 10-minute video and explaining that as well. So you have a third party to use in case somebody is wondering why they should do this. I wouldn't come right out and offer it to people, because it just will cause more questions. But if somebody's on the edge or on the fence, this is a great way to add validity to what you're doing. Also to all your centers of influence, it's a great way to add validity to what you're doing, because your name's not on here as a third-party resource. Okay? And I want to get into the congratulations. So first thing is, I wanted to talk about Bonnie and Michael, who Bonnie is fairly new to the system, and she's had some wonderful and she just checked out the power of attorney and did awesome on it. So she sent this email and said, I just had to send an email. Yesterday I had an interview with a client. His energy was electric, very positive. Just a brief background, I have 4 generations of family of accounts. The client I was meeting was 3rd generation. So you could see the problems that her mother was having with her deceased mother, and the problems that she will have with her brother-in-law if their mother doesn't fill one out. Therefore, she could see the potential problems her daughter would have not having the survivor guide POA. As I was going through the POA, she was sitting on the edge of her chair, and the further I got into it, the eyes were big as marble. She said, oh my God, who do I have as my power of attorney? Or wait, who do I have as my power of attorney? Have I done it right? So 2 hours after the appointment, she sent a text to tell her that the survivor's guide was already filled out. She said she knows now her daughters won't be squabbling. So, I mean, guys, we're not just salespeople. We're having a major positive impact on people's lives. These people don't just need financial advisors to sell them investments, because you know what? They can get that anywhere, and they're getting it cheaper and cheaper as time goes on. As we talk about these robo-advisors. So you need to be providing other value, and this is a great indication of that value. And then those of you that are on Friday's call, we talked a little bit about Bob's fabulous success. So we have him on today actually talk a little bit more about it. So Bob, can you go ahead and fill people in with what happened?
Well, I guess the first thing I'd want to preface it with is if I can do this, anybody can, because I'm not that great at all of this stuff. Like I said Friday, when I went through this meeting, it actually lasted just a little over 3 hours. It was really long, and but it didn't seem that way. The clients were engaged pretty much the whole time. I actually had all of the scripts printed out and in front of me, and just prefaced it right at the start that we had a lot of information to cover, and I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything, so I was going to be following this, and it didn't seem to bother them in the least. These are people I had met with like a year previous, had done the normal, here's my products, here's my stuff, and they weren't impressed, and that was where it ended. And it's been a long time in coming, but here just this last week I had the implementation meeting with them, and they are the single biggest case I've ever had, and I've been doing this since 2002, so pretty excited about that.
Well, congratulations, first of all, because you say you're not good at it, but you know what? That 3-hour meeting, though it was 3 hours, was awesome. You continually got on their side. You had a great tone. It was awesome. So, and you must have had a great impact, because one of the things is, after the implementation meeting, how many months was it before you actually closed the deal?
The disclosure meeting was back in September, and then we actually had him. He actually had come to an event that we had here, just a lunch and learn. Told him, you kind of heard it from the desk side, and he actually came in and met with me again, and we kind of walked through some of the things again to just give some clarification, and then we just finally signed the paperwork on Thursday of last week. So.
And you said they remembered almost all of the stuff that you covered.
Oh, that was the part. Yeah, I had forgotten about that. That was the most amazing part. Is I did the kind of the review at the start of the implementation. It was like they were just they didn't miss. I didn't have to prompt them at all. I mean, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing to me.
And it wasn't because just so you know, folks, it wasn't because they were thinking about it for 5 months. There was actually some logistical things that had to occur before they could actually move the money. So they would have moved it right then and there, but there were some logistical things. Now, Bob, how did you, after, like you said, I don't know if you guys caught this, but a year before the disclosure meeting, he tried what a normal, he was referred to these folks, and he did what normal advisors do, which is was nice, kind, informative, informational, showed them some ideas and what they could do with their money, and they said thanks, but we'll think about it, and left. So how'd you get them back in after that year to do the 21?
I kind of after that initial meeting, I kind of just stayed in touch with them, and started sending, put them on the drip list, and had heard that he was really considering retiring. He ended up retiring early because of some physical challenges that he's got. And so I got a hold of him. I said, you feel like you're ready to do that? And he's like, oh, I'm pretty nervous about it. And so I told him about what we were doing with the 21-point checklist. And I said, there's no cost to do it, and it might give you the, at least some confidence, some things to think about that will help you. And when they came to the agreement meeting, then we walked through it with him and his wife, and I mean, they were on board from that point forward.
Well, I just am excited, Bob, for you to have this success, because you earned it because you worked really hard at this. And actually, you're doing the same thing with Outside the Box, right? Because you had a few lunch and learns that, you struggled with the first one, you got better at the second one, and then the last one you did was awesome. So what does that say about hard work?
I guess that's the biggest thing is you just, I guess maybe one of the things that I might be in a little different position than some of the guys, and that is the fact that, I'm willing to do and try just about anything, because I've tried all the rest and fallen flat on my face. So, for me to sit back and think that I know more than you do about it, reality tells me something different than that. So,
well, I just appreciate you so much, Bob, because the work you put into it, and now that you see that it works, there's no reason not to keep just chugging right down the train tracks now, right?
No, this is actually when we first started with you, we kind of were splitting our time 50-50 between this and another thing we were using. We pretty much, this is at the forefront. This is what we're doing, is what we're going to build, our business and our identity on.
Well, I greatly appreciate your hard work and you sharing it, Bob, because I want everybody to know that if you follow, just follow the system, it works like clockwork. So I appreciate that very much, Bob.
No problem.
Super. So any questions, comments before we get going? Super. And I just want to make one more comment we talked about on Friday. This lady that Bob worked with, she was considered to be by the people, her friends even, neighbors, etc., considered to be very ornery, and she loves Bob, and that's because of how he handled that 3-hour 21-point checklist. So don't tell me that 3 hours is too long. By the end of that 3 hours, she was loving Bob because he appreciated the things that she said by getting on her side when she said good things or smart things. So again, Bob, great job. So now we're off to some other things to cover. So guys, I love this. Information, knowledge, and wisdom. So information is what? Just a bunch of data points, right? Information is just a bunch of data points. And then knowledge is connecting those data points. But wisdom is what? Because, right now, our biggest competitor is what? What's our biggest competitor, guys? Well, our biggest competitor is inertia. But what else is one of our biggest competitors? What's different than 10 or 15 years ago? Fern, I agree, they're a guy, absolutely. Fear, maybe. Robo, maybe. Information, Roy. That's right. The internet, Chris. That's right. The internet and information. Because everybody now thinks they're what? A financial genius, because how much financial information is there out there? How many gurus are out there? How many blogs are out there? How many magazines? How many websites about how many motley fools are there out there? There's gazillions of them. So everybody thinks that they've got all this information at their fingertips. They've even got knowledge. But you know what? Is knowledge wisdom? Knowledge is not wisdom. And we need to understand that. Now, that's how it applies to our prospects. But I'd like to see, how does it apply to us as advisors? So what are we using for brain food? What are we using? What information are we absorbing and knowledge are we creating? And then what are we doing with that knowledge? How much wisdom are we creating with that knowledge? So how are we feeding our brains? So there's a website I just love. It's called Sparring Minds. So if I can get there. Sparring Minds is a wonderful, wonderful website. But they had an article or a blog post by Gregory Ciotti about cultivating knowledge or just consuming information. And all of us are drowning in a sea of irrelevance. Now, all of us probably had to read in high school, depending on how old you are, but both The Brave New World and 1984. Aldous Huxley, Brave New World, George Orwell, 1984. Both were talking about a future dystopia. But the way that they created this dystopias were almost polar opposite. So the way Orwell looked at it is that the world was going to be ruled by a dictatorship, and they were going to only allow certain information out there, and they're going to ban books, and there's going to be censorship committees. But how did Huxley look in A Brave New World? When the Brave New World, they were given, what Huxley feared was that there would be no reason to ban a book, for there'd be no reason, no one would want to read one, because I love this. So everybody's watching TV. The Biggest Loser will be back after these messages. So why would you need to burn books or prevent people from reading books when there's so much crap on the internet and crap on the TV and crap on our cell phones? So we're overwhelmed with Twitter, with apps, and with everything else. So we're absorbing all sorts of innocuous information that gives us what? How much value does any of that information give us? I mean, the amount of TV that's watched, the amount of internet that people are on. I mean, are people using internet to actually become more wise, or are they using it to twiddle away the time? I mean, when you're in, look at dates. When you go to restaurants, there are people there that are looking at their phones instead of having conversations. Yeah, cat videos, exactly, Tony. So as we go down here, continue the comparison, Orwell feared those who would deprive us of information, because they were going to leave, they were going to not give the public information about what truly was happening. But the way Huxley looked at it, Huxley feared that those who would give us so much that we would be reduced to passivity and egoism. So which one are we living today, folks? You think we're living the Brave New World, or we living the 1984? We're living the Brave New World. And I don't know if you recall reading the Brave New World, they had this drug called somnambulism or something like that. And so it was basically made people happy. So if you're always happy, guess what? Then we go down further. Orwell feared the truth would be concealed from us. So again, withholding information. But Huxley feared the truth would be drowned in a sea of irrelevance. Try this new drug to lose weight without diet and exercise. Stay tuned to win cold hard cash. Blah, blah, celeb gossip. I mean, look at, who are the biggest of stars in our world today? The Kardashians. What the heck do they provide that's of value to anybody in this world? But they just signed a $100 million contract because people can't get enough of them. So what are we living in, the Orwell society or the Huxley society? We're so overwhelmed with crappy information, we're not actually improving what we're doing. And ask yourself, the same stuff, look at, try this new drug. What would be an equivalent of that in our industry? Guys, if you're reading all the emails of people sending you saying they've got a great new way to get you in front of people, that they got a great new way to get your referrals, that, hey, have you thought we got a great new lead system, is what? What is that stuff, guys? What is that stuff? Yeah, BS is right. It's a new pill, right, Kim? It's a new pill. Oh, and the same thing is here, what else is that? It's all the money managers saying what? They've got a better way to do things. And how many? They've got 100 different money managers saying 100 different things. 100, how about 1,000? So, guys, pay attention to what's really, what really is important. Orwell feared there would become a captive culture. Huxley feared it would become a trivial culture, preoccupied with some equivalent of the feelies or orgy-porgy and centrifugal bumble puppy. So here's a guy watching, they're playing video games, and other people tweeting, another person watching gossip TV, another lady collecting Beanie Babies. This guy's working out. His whole life is working out. This guy's whole life is surrounded on the lottery. Guys, how far off is he? How far off is Huxley from how we are living today? As Huxley remarked in The Brave New World Revisited, the civil libertarians and rationalists who are ever on alert to oppose tyranny fail to take into account man's almost infinite appetite for distractions. So can you not hear me, Missy?
Nope, I can hear fine. I think Jim was having
one person? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So this is, now are you running your practice like this? And I would tell you straight out, guys, the biggest problem I have with advisors is this thing, which is what? The reason that I don't have more than 10, 12 people writing 10 million or more is why? What are the other guys doing? As Bob just said, does the system work if you follow it? Yes, it does. But you become distracted. What do you become distracted with? Well, that's an infinite list of what you become distracted with. But guys, if you want to be successful, if you just follow the system, guess what? It works. So in 1984, people are controlled by inflicting pain. In Brave New World, people are controlled by inflicting pleasure. In short, Orwell feared that we will ruin ourselves with that what we hate will ruin us. Huxley feared that what we love will ruin us. And that, I mean, which side are we on right now, man? All words from amusing ourselves to death. The public disclosure in an age of new show business by Neil Postman. I think this just puts it into unbelievable perspective. So now let me get back here. So how are you spending your time at work? As a prominent educator has expressed that Americans generally spend so much time on things that are urgent that we have none left to spend on those that are important. So guys, as Bob just showed you today, if you follow the system, it works. So I have so many guys tell me that they can't spend time learning the system because they got so much stuff going on. Can I ask you a question? What would happen if you just stopped doing what you're doing right now? What would happen if you just stopped what you're doing right now for the next 3 weeks and just learn the system? And remember, we said you have to spend 3 weeks. I'm asking for 16 or 14 hours to learn 3 scripts. Maybe another 4 hours to learn the outside the box. So what would happen if you didn't do all the things that are distracting you, just not for your rest of your life, but just for 2 or 3 weeks, and then just learned the system? Would you lose, how much money would you lose in the next 2 or 3 weeks if you stopped doing what you're doing? Whether it's seeing clients for annual reviews, whether it's, whatever it is, what would happen to your practice? What would happen to your income? Because if you learn that learn the system, spent 14 hours nailing the power of attorney, the beneficiaries and the titling, and learning the outside of the box, guess what? It's an ATM machine. It's an ATM machine. So here's the thing. If you show me your calendar, I'll show you your priorities. What do I mean by that? Guys, here's what I'm saying. 4 hours to learn the titling. 4 hours to learn the power of attorney. 6 hours to learn the beneficiaries. This is how many days you have in a month. Am I asking you to stop your life, stop your life. You need to do this. I mean, stop everything. Do this. No. But I tell you what, the number one way I get people to quit this system, the number one way I get people to quit this system is when they tell me they're busy, they're too busy, they haven't had time to do that. And guess what I ask them? Let's see, get some answers to this. When they say they're too busy, guess what I ask them? And then when I ask them for this, they go away forever because they're too embarrassed to show. Yes, show me your calendar. So why do they run away and not want to show me their calendar? I mean, let's get them let's get them with their spouses in a room, and how embarrassed are they going to be? Not for me, but for their spouse too. I mean, guys, you have 160 hours a month. What are you doing with that? Just think if you invested it, not in the distractions, not in the things that take up time, reading the paper, reading your email, chasing squirrels down holes. What if you just, if you believe in the system, what if you just quit reading all the emails about all the other people who are trying to grab your time and just instead just learn the system? What would happen to your life? I mean, if you believe in the system, is it worth 14 hours of your time? Because if you look at what Bob has done. And every single week we get people telling us, this is the biggest case I've ever closed. I would have never gotten this without the 21-point checklist. And yet that's the 10 or 20% of the guys in the system saying that. The rest, the other 80%, the other 90%, have all sorts of reasons why they can't learn the system. Guys, here's how much I believe in the system. This is my calendar. This is my calendar. I run an average of 35 to 40 appointments every single week. So when you tell me that you're too busy, guess what I do? Oh, and Tony says, I just got my largest client to date. Thanks, Tony. I mean, I get that every single week. I get somebody tell me that. So, guys, I believe in the system. So if I didn't believe in the system, would I spend 35 or 40 appointments a week helping you learn the system if I didn't believe it was going to help? If I did not believe the system was going to help you close more business, would I really do this? This is how much time and energy I put into the system because I believe. I mean, I've seen it for 15 years, what it does for people. And I tear my hair out. You can ask Missy. I'm balder than I was 10 years ago because I tear my hair out. When I get people tell me they're too busy.
For sure you're more gray than you were 10 years ago. Maybe not more bald, but more gray.
So, guys, don't tell me you're too busy. Tell me that you don't think that it's worth learning. That I can agree with. But are you really too busy? If you're too busy, I mean, what are the things that you should be busy doing? When you're at work, not when you're at home, but 40 hours a week or 30 hours a week, whatever you want to work, during those hours. I'm not saying you have to work 40 hours a week. I do, because you know what? 40 hours a week to make kind of money, I'd make that. I mean, a lot of people would trade with me. I'm not going to work more than that because I want evenings and I want weekends off. But the fact is, 40 hours, what could you do in those 40 hours? What should you be doing? If it doesn't make you money, save you money, or make your life easier, then you shouldn't be doing it. So should you be reading the paper, guys? Just reading the paper help you? No, it does not, right, Fern? It doesn't. Does watching CNBC or MSNBC or whatever, does that help you? So does reading your email and looking at all the other opportunities out there, does that help you? So getting better at your skills and get in front of people, that's what helps you. So we're all familiar with Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So he talks about two circles, circles of control and circles of concern. So circle of control is anything that relates directly to you, which would be situations where you can influence the outcome. For example, things you write, things you build, habits you engage in. It emphasizes your attention on a valuable limited resource. What is that? What's your valuable and limited resource? Time, exactly, Tony. Time. But how much time do we spend here working on things that directly affect us? And guys, you know what? I'm the pot calling the kettle black. Guess what I would rather be doing than having 35 or 40 appointments with you guys every single week? I'd rather be surfing the internet. I'd rather be at the gym. I'd rather be golfing. I'd rather be doing all sorts of things. But I figure when I'm working, I should what? When I'm at work, I should what? Work. So I'm constantly doing these things. I'm writing. I'm building your guys' businesses. I'm engaging in habits. So things I don't want to do, guess how I do things I don't want to do? I don't want to work out, but I get up every morning and work out. Why? Because I don't want to do that, but it's a habit I've now created. So instead, how much time are we doing circles in the circle of concern? Worried about things you do not control. The nightly news, what a waste of time that is. What on the nightly news affects you directly? Is there anything on the nightly news that affects you directly? And I'm a news fiend. I love news. I'm a news hound. But really, when you think about it, nothing on there affects us directly. See, 99% of what we see doesn't even affect me. How about circle of concern? Worrying about what others are doing. Gathering useless information. Always searching for something better. Guys, this is the rabbit hole that's really a problem. Searching for something better. Why do people search for something better? Why do people search for something better? Yeah, it's easier, Dino, right? It's easier than what? Actually working on what? The quick fix, right, Rick? It's easier, and they're looking for the quick fix instead. Guys, is there any such thing as a quick fix in life? Is there any such thing as a quick fix? I wish there was. Anything of value requires what? Work. And here's the funny thing. You know, both my kids, I have a sophomore in high school, a sophomore in college, and I tell them over and over and over, and I don't get why they don't put this into colleges, but I tell them, you know what? Sales is either the hardest, lowest paying job in the world, or the easiest, highest paying job in the world. So if you want to make a lot of money in an easy job, become a salesman and get good at it. And guys, do you believe, I want to see a lot of yeses or nos of this. Do you believe that the 21-point checklist in the outside the box will make you good? Will make you, is it an ATM machine? So I got 4 yeses, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, everybody's saying, thank you, thank you. So if we really believe that, then let's spend that 14 hours and lock down those scripts. Let's lock down the outside the box, and that's something. Is that in the circle? Learning the 21-point checklist or learning those 3 scripts of the 21-point checklist, is that in the circle of control or the circle of concern? It's a circle of control. Control, control, control. It's something you can actually do. But how much of our time? Just be honest with yourself. How much of your time is over here? Worrying about now, if looking for a money manager. How about this? Looking for a money manager that's got it figured out and is going to give our clients the best rate of return with the least amount of risk. Is that in the circle of control or circle of concern? Circle of control or concern? Trying to find a money manager who says that he's got it figured out or she's got it figured out. Concern, right, guys? Concern, because really, can anybody figure that out? If somebody could figure that out, would they share that with you? No. As we've talked about, the market's going to do what the market's going to do. Do we have any control over it? Do we have any control over what the market's going to do? No. So if we have no control of the market, do you think any money manager has any control over what the market's going to do? No. So that's in the circle of concern, not in the circle of control. But can we, if we learn the 21-point checklist, that's in the circle of control, because we learn to ask questions that clients will discover for themselves that they can no longer trust their guy. That's in the circle of control. See, circle of concern is reactive focus. So, you know, oh my gosh, you focus on the majority of your time and energy on concerns and problems. You don't take responsibility for your own situation. That's a circle of concern. So when we're looking for money managers, or we're reading the paper, or we're doing all sorts of other things, we're looking for a better way to market. We're looking for that great, unbelievable way to get in front of pre-sold clients. That's circle of concern. See, you don't want to take responsibility for your own situation, so you're hoping what? You can find the magic pill that will fix it for you. Is there any such thing as a magic pills? So you got to change your focus. You choose to redirect your time and energy. You begin to focus on those things within your control, and you start to make a difference. Guys, after 8 years of making $50,000 a year, 8 years of making $50,000 a year, the next year I made $350,000. What was the watershed moment? What did I do that changed, that I went from 8 years of making $50,000 to the next year I made $350,000, the next year $67,000, the next year $967,000? That's a 20-fold increase in 3 years. From making $50,000 for 8 years to almost $1 million. What wasn't God's? What did I change? I changed my focus. What did I quit doing, guys? Yeah, I listened to my wife, Michael. That's exactly right. I changed my focus from what? Well, you're right. I quit selling, but here's the major focus. I said to my wife, I said, I don't get it. I quit. These people in Rochester are dumb as stumps. They take all my information. They love my information. Hey, I'm a CFP. They love my information. They love my plans. They think they're awesome. They say, you know what, Mike, this is great. I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it with my current guy. If I ever need a guy, though, I'll come back to you. But what was I saying about these people? What did I say about these people? That they were what? They were bad, right, Roy? I said these people are dumb as stumps. Who was I blaming? Who was I blaming? Them. The thing that made me from $50,000 a year to almost $1 million a year within 3 years was I quit blaming everybody else, and guess what? I started blaming myself. Guys, do we have things that people want? Do we have things that people want? Do people want long-term care without it? Do they want free long-term care? Do they want to make sure their powers of attorney work? I mean, do we have things that people want? Yes, we do. So if we have things that they want, and they tell us they need to think about it or won't make appointments with us, then guess what? Whose fault is that? If we have things they want and they don't want to meet with us for those things, whose fault is it? Ours. And only ours. So why should we be looking for a magic pill? Why should we be looking for a better marketing? Why should we be looking for a better product? Why should we be, you know what we need to do? We need to quit focusing our energy on that magic pill that doesn't exist and start focusing our energy on ourselves. Make ourselves better. Do we have control over that, guys? Do we have control over making ourselves better communicators? Darn right we do. We darn right, and you don't even have to figure it out. We've got something that's been working for 17 years. 2 years for myself, 15 years for everybody else. It's been working. Devote that time to things that you control. You got to cultivate your life. Now, hey, am I saying that you should become a workaholic? No, relaxing is marvelous, and it's needed. Family and friends is marvelous and needed. Playing your sports, watching TV and movies, listening to music, pursuing hobbies, napping, surfing the net, whatever trips your trigger, these things are needed, and you should do them. When should you do them, guys? When should you do these things? That's right, on your downtime, after hours. Should you be doing these things while you're working? And if you're not doing these things while you're working, what are you doing while you're working? You got 160 hours a month. What are you doing those 160 hours? So you got to cultivate your life, improve your job skills, experiment with new hobbies, get intentional with your learning. Just don't learn for the sake of learning. Decide, why am I learning this? What am I going to accomplish by learning what I'm learning right now? So reading the Wall Street Journal, hey, you're learning all sorts of things, right? What's the point? Is anybody going to work with you because you read an article in the Wall Street Journal? No, but I guarantee you people will work with you if you get good at the power of attorney script, the titling script and the beneficiary script. I'll guarantee you they will. So if you want to be learning something, learn that. Do something intentional. Why? When you come to the office in the morning, say, what am I going to do today? Okay, what are the results of that going to be? So when people that was telling me, well, I'm meeting with my client. I can't learn this stuff because I've got a whole bunch of clients to take care of. Okay, well, let me ask you a question. What are you accomplishing by meeting with those clients that day? What are you accomplishing? Are you getting a referral from it? What's the point? I have a guy that what he does is he's so frigging busy running educational classes for his clients, and he's making diddly-do. He's so busy running and you know what? Guess how many people show up to those educational classes? Twice a month he's doing these things. So he's got 8, 12 people showing up, and it's, generally about half the people are the same people over and over and over again. And I said, well, how much money did that make you over the last year? Guess what he said? Well, I can't, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know, 0. Guys, why are we doing it? But does he go home feeling good about himself? Now here's the question. Did he really help his clients? By having those educational classes, here's the biggest question. Did he really help his clients? Nope. You're right, Tony. He did not. So now they had a lot more information, maybe even more knowledge, but did they have any more wisdom? Anything that he gave them, were they able to implement that into anything that made them a better life? And yet he's so busy, guess what he's not doing for his clients? They're not in the 21-point checklist. He's so busy educating his clients, giving them information they can do nothing with, and all of them are still sitting there with all the 21 problems. What would you call that guy? What would you call that guy? Is he wise? Or would you say he's less than wise? Yeah, well, that's what I would say, Tony. So don't wish for it, work for it. Oh, here, I love this video. This is a 77-year-old woman.
I ain't touching it.
I mean, I want with it. Oh. Oh. She's throwing kisses to the crowd.
I cannot even imagine that.
One-handed wood jump. 77-year-old woman.
What? Hi, James. Yeah, Willie. I hope Sylvester Stallone is not watching this at home. Willie just out-Rockied Rocky.
Thank you.
Do you think maybe the two of us could
Wait, hold on. Hold this.
Hold your ring?
I want to show my ring. Let's see.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh!
Guys, why did I show you this video? Why did I show you this video? Why? Yeah, that's Tony hit it. She has focus. Intentional work, Kim, exactly. Anything is possible. Dude, she's 77 years old, and she is strong. Why? How many 77-year-olds tell you that they can't, complain about their health and complain about? She just went out and what? Did it. Work is greater than wishing. And when you're spending all of your time looking on the internet for better things, what does that tell you? Reading emails, fantasizing about how these other things are going to fix your life, reading Wall Street Journal. Guys, that's wishing. That's not work. Just what does Nike say? Just do it. See, the grass is greener syndrome will kill you. Just water the grass where you're at. So here's what I'd ask. Just learn the power of attorney. Learn the beneficiary. Learn the titling. And if it doesn't work for you after you learn it, then find something else that will. Otherwise, just do this, and guess what you're going to find out? Do you really think when you learn those things it's not going to work? It's going to work. See, anything in life worth having is worth working for. Andrew Carnegie. Think and Grow Rich. Guys, I've read this book probably 15 times in the last 20 years, and I'm in the middle of it again. And you can actually download it for free. If you just Google Think and Grow Rich, you can download the PDF for free. And everything in here still works today. I mean, teaching for the first time the famous Andrew Carnegie formula for money making based on 13 proven steps to riches, organized through 25 years of research and collaboration with 500 distinguished men of great wealth who proved their own achievements. I'm not talking about money is everything, guys. I'm not talking about money is everything, but you know what? We work. Why do we work? To help people, but really, why do we work? If you just want to help people, join the Peace Corps. Why do we work? To make money, right, Todd? We help people. We have a great job because we can actually help people while we're making money, but we work to make money. So, guys, if you're in the office, why not do it to make money while you're there? So everyone faces defeat. It may be a stepping stone or a stumbling block, depending on mental attitude with which it is faced. You are the master of your own fate, the captain of your own soul, because we have the power to control our own thoughts. Effort only fully releases its reward after a person refuses to quit. Most great people have achieved their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. Guys, I know you might be thinking these are trite things. They're not. They work. They work for people like they work for people like Bill Gates. They work for people like Warren Buffett. They work for the richest people in this world. Use these trite sayings. So guys, please, 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 just live intentionally, work intentionally, learn intentionally, and yes, have fun. Have fun, but have fun intentionally. Don't just coast through your work life. Don't just coast through your life. Live, work, learn, and have fun intentionally. Does that make sense to everybody? Please live intentionally. So I just wanted to give you some things to think about, because I know we're all dragged in different directions every single day with distractions. We see an email that says, oh, wow, life is going to get better if I do this thing. You know what? I'm a big fitness freak. So I'm constantly looking at all the different ways to work out. And there's always a new way to work out. There's always a new but what do I find out in the end, guys? It's not that hard to get fit. How do you get fit? You work out, and you do more tomorrow than you did today. That's it. Doesn't matter. There is no miracle workout. There is no miracle anything. It's you do more tomorrow than you did today, and you get fitter. That's all there is to it. And you know what? How you get success in this business is you do more tomorrow intentionally than you do today. So that's all I wanted to cover with you today. And again, thanks for Bob for sharing your success. And guys, please, you've got 14 hours to success. 14 hours to success, and your life will be changed forever. I promise you. Live, work, and learn intentionally. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you all on Friday.